Vortex, I'm the type of person that can sit in the parking lot, such as this one. I can sit in the parking lot, and I can listen to Bob Marley, and I can just think about stuff. Do people ever just like sit around and think about stuff anymore, or do they just stare at a little TV all the time? I'm showing you how it's done, okay? This is how you think, okay? It helps if you don't have a phone that gives you the option to not have to think about anything. I mean, here's the thing. There are plenty of websites that teach you stuff, you know? Remember when Wikipedia came out? Like, before they started censoring the fuck out of it? It was, like, the greatest website ever. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff you can learn from Wikipedia as long as you're not looking up anything that's, like, politically incorrect. Don't they have, like, politically correct web pages that are, like, devoted to certain political figures? Yeah, I don't remember the name of it. But yeah, it's like anybody that's on the right that is thought of as a Nazi, probably because they said true things about Jewish people. Yeah, they are featured in this section of Wikipedia that is devoted to exposing these motherfuckers. As if they need to be exposed, you know? As if they don't do a fine job of drawing attention to themselves and what they believe in, you know? I mean, that's fine. They should be allowed to do that. Just like liberals can do that, why can't they do that? But the fact that, like, people find anybody that has a dissenting opinion to be such a threat to society. I mean, I don't really think that most people are like that, though. I don't think that most people actually give a fuck about that stuff. I don't even think that most leftists give a fuck about that. But because they're trained to think that they're supposed to, or they're probably friends with people that are more radical than they are. Like, I used to be friends with some pretty radical people. Imagine that. And I think about those people a lot. Like, I wonder, like, how extreme they are now. Because I don't talk to them anymore. And it's not because, you know, I severed ties with them. They severed ties with me. I just think too much, you know? I think too much, and I have actual empathy, so I don't have to feign empathy. When I don't actually care about a news story or a school shooting or something like that, you know? I don't have to pretend that I care about dead kids in a high school or something, you know? I would say the majority of people on social media are feigning compassion about every pretend news story. They don't care about anything because they don't have feelings. You can't care about things when you don't have feelings. When you're on an antidepressant, you don't have feelings anymore. That's the point. When they say antidepressant, what they mean is pro-suppressant. So now you're just suppressing all of your emotions. So of course it's going to be this jumbled mess. It's not going to make a lick of sense. And maybe it already was a jumbled mess that didn't make a lick of sense when you were unmedicated. But now that you have taken something for it, now any potential that you could have had to have any kind of understanding about that is gone. So, I mean, when people get on to me about this and they're like, well, you know, what if somebody really needs it? What if somebody is going to commit suicide? If they're going to commit suicide, they're going to commit suicide. Like, stop acting like people can't make that decision. Like, people make decisions to hurt themselves every single day. People make decisions to hurt other people every single day. And y'all act like suicide's like the worst thing anybody can do. Are you serious? Really? If you're thinking about molesting a child, you should kill yourself. That's better. It's better to kill yourself than to hurt somebody else. I don't care how mean that sounds. I'm sure that God would understand. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. It's just like, people don't want to critically think about anything. They just want to live in a world that's all laid out for them, and they go, oh, you don't feel this way about this issue? Well, you're supposed to, damn it. You're supposed to, because the rest of us are dutifully feeling this way. We are dutifully saying what we are supposed to say. Hashtag, I say this now. Nobody cares about anything. And yeah, there is a sick part of me that just wants really, really horrible things to happen. Because it's like, that's what people deserve. But they'll never understand. Real poetic justice would be like, you know, what's happening right now with people that took that jab that are like, man, I really regret taking it. Good. Get down on your knees and repent. You'll be fine. And if not, that's still a decision that you made that I'm sure you couldn't stop gloating about whenever you made it, right? I mean, I don't want to be too hard on them because I know that that's got to be rough to be such a fucking guinea pig, right? But I don't know. It's like we're all guinea pigs in some form or fashion, right? We really are. It's like, I obviously don't believe in it in that way, but I mean, I really don't believe in it in any kind of way. I mean, I think that, like, people assuming that they're supposed to get married and have kids and, like, do this, and this, you know, it's like everything is like this mile marker. So it's like a form of athleticism, you know? Like, you shouldn't look at life like that, man. Like, oh, well, I'm this age, which means I do this. We've been together this long, which means now we're at the point where we're ready to settle down. Now we get a house. After we get a house, then we get a dog. After we get a dog, then we can decide, do we want children? Do we want children? Or do we want to just have more fur babies? You know, it's like, I fucking hate everybody, dude. I just hate everybody so much. And not by hate, I don't mean actually hate, okay? I mean, like, I feel sorry for people. I just want to shake the hell out of them. Because it's like, it's just this Western thinking of like, I have to go along with society. I have to do what society does. I have to be this thing. I have to be important. I have to be relevant. You know, why? Who told you that? Your public school teacher tell you that? I mean, I don't know. I just don't get it. I've never been like that. Like, when I was a child, I just knew that, like, I was gonna be like this for the rest of my life. You know? And it's just crazy that people would choose to be mediocre, you know? They choose to have the same thing that everybody else has. They choose to do what everybody else does, and that they think that they're going to stand out in any kind of way. Or maybe they don't want to stand out. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not saying that, like, the whole goal of living life is to be authentic or whatever. I mean, most people aren't authentic. At least not now. Maybe they were a while ago. Maybe before televisions existed, people were a lot more interesting. But I don't know. I just can't believe that, like, more people aren't suicidal being as boring as they are. You know, like, if I woke up every single day and all I did was stare at a phone, like, I would just blow my head off, man. I mean, that's just me, though. But, and why is that a wrong thing to think? Why is that, like, an insensitive way to look at people? I mean, I feel sorry for them because they have potential as human beings. They have potential to be way more than they've allowed themselves. You're making excuses for them and saying, yeah, it's totally fine that they just waste away all fucking day and don't do diddly squat while pretending that they're going to change the world. I just fucking hate everything. Like I said, I hate everything. I hate everyone. I do love God, though. It doesn't sound like it, damn it. It doesn't sound like it when you bitch about his people the way that you do. Yeah, but, like, I do wonder, because there are plenty of Bible verses that I could cite. I actually just read this in the Wisdom of Solomon. Where it's talking about how, like, bad parents raise bad children, and, like, that whole family's cursed. Like, their children are evil because the parents are evil. And they make bad decisions. And they don't care about the right things. So, I guess it just depends, like, on what part of the Bible you read, you know? Because you could easily, you know, cite, you know, loving your brother and treating other people with respect and, you know, being a kind person. I mean, I would say I'm a pretty kind person. Just because I'm, like, harsh, like, I mean, I'm a harsh critic. I mean, I'm a pretty harsh critic because, yeah, I mean, I want what's best for society. Society doesn't want what's best for society. That's not my fault. I mean, I wish that they did. Then I wouldn't have to say all these things that I'm saying, you know? It's their fault, it ain't mine. Shit. You know? But it's just really obnoxious. It's really obnoxious living in a world of people that shit themselves all the time and, like, they're just blaming everybody else for pooping their pants, you know? It's just ridiculous. I mean, I don't ever want to think, though, I'm just above it, I'm so superior to these people, you know? Because even if that's true, for whatever reason that is true, that still shouldn't be the way that I behave. That still shouldn't be the way that I act. And I mean, I don't act this way. Like, what you're seeing now is, like, this is the result of me keeping my mouth shut. Okay? This is the result of me not saying anything that I want to say. So, if this world is a better place because of smartphones, if you disagree with me and my views on technology, please could you tell me why? Could you elaborate? Because I really want to get into an argument. I do. I just want to mop the floor with somebody that dares to argue with me on this. Because literally, there is not one person that's been able to win this argument with me. Not one. And I'm not trying to win anything. I'm not trying to be on top or whatever. But it just goes without saying that, like, I'm right. Flip phone life is way less depressing than everybody else's life.